Welcome to World Travel Made Easy with Itinerary Boss, the podcast for busy professionals, entrepreneurs, and business owners who want to travel smarter, save money, and plan unforgettable trips without the stress. I'm Ross, your host and the founder of Itinerary Boss. I spent a decade building a career in healthcare, software, and medical device sales while planning both personal and business trips across more than 20 countries. Whether it was group getaways with friends, couples trips, or just mapping out business territories, I became the go-to person for saving money on flights, organizing those logistics, and using points to elevate the experience. Now, as an entrepreneur and business owner, I help others do the same by showing you how to travel better using points, smart planning, and those proven strategies. Each week, we bring you expert guests, step-by-step tutorials on points and miles, and real-world itineraries that we've used to help you plan with confidence. Whether it's using points to travel better, exploring a new destination, or just learning how to maximize your spending, we've got you covered. Before we dive in, go ahead and grab one of our free tools in the show notes. One, the points and miles cheat sheet that'll help you get started earning and redeeming points to save thousands on travel, or the stress-free travel toolkit that includes a budget guide, packing checklist, and planning tips to save you time and hassle. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or busy professional looking to choose your next credit card or get help maximizing your everyday spending for rewards and booking free travel, book a free one-on-one consultation. You can find the link within the show notes or head over to itineraryboss.com. And if this episode helps you, please share it with a friend or family member, follow the show, and leave a 5-star review. It's the best way that helps us grow. Now, let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to another episode of World Travel Made Easy with Itinerary Boss. On this week, we're excited to dive into the best business credit cards for entrepreneurs and business owners. If you're a early stage side hustler, you're starting out a business, or if you're someone who's had a business for 5, 10, 15 years, this episode is going to be great for you because we're going to go through, if you're just starting out, what might be the best credit cards, even if you don't have an LLC, and you just want to open something up for a side hustle. If you are looking to fine tune your strategy and maybe you've been using a card for a while, but don't know if you're using the right one, we'll also cover that, and much more just through our experience of, buying real estate properties as well as starting a business. We're going to dive into specific strategies that we've used as well as other people that we've worked with have used and just best practices. So really excited to have you here. If you are new to the podcast and just tuning in for the first time, make sure you hit that follow and subscribe button. That way you don't miss any upcoming episodes. And if you really like this episode, make sure you share it with a family or friend so we can reach more people who want to travel, as well as business owners who want to start to use credit cards more effectively to pay for their travel. So first, we'll dive into if you're in that early stage, if you have a side hustle, if you are an entrepreneur who's just getting up and running, and even if you're, a later stage business owner and you want to fine tune that strategy, we're going to dive into some of the different cards. So first will be the 0% interest. Usually they're going to have that first 12 months of 0% APR, as well as these are going to be your no annual fee cards, which is great. So if you're just trying to start to put some expenses, you're getting some of your startup costs going, or you just have different things that you're paying for and you want to get more points, these cards are going to be great. So first, we'll go into actually the first card that I got, which is the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited. So I really like this one because, like I'd mentioned, you had 0% interest and for the first 12 months. And then also there was a no annual fee. This was great because as I was starting up my company, I was able to earn 100,000 points from hitting a minimum spend of $6,000 in the first 3 months. At the time that I opened it, the nice part is you also get 1.5 times where you spend your dollars everywhere, which is great. And if you're familiar with the Chase 524 rule, this is great too because you're getting started in that. And we have other episodes that dive deeper into that. But this is a great card that I like. I have two of these for separate businesses. This is good if you're, like I mentioned, if you're just getting started out. If you are a real estate investor and you're looking to furnish properties, this is also a good card because you can earn dollars on the spend that you're doing for that, or if you have to purchase, if you're an investor and you have a larger expense coming up, say a new HVAC, or you have to purchase the furnishings, or just even larger things like your fridge, washer, dryer, those type of things. These are strategies that you can use to earn points. And just from an ROI perspective, what is Ross, that's great. What are those 100,000 points mean? Well, you can say that can equate to, if you use it correctly, which we go through specifics in other episodes, that can equate to 5,000 plus dollar business class, first class seats traveling. So that's the power of, getting started out early and using these. And then if you wanted to do one where you wanted to earn, say you have a lot of dollars spent on office stores, phone, internet, the Chase Inc. Business Cash is great because you get 5 times the points on every dollar spent. And then you also get 2 times the points on gas and dining. And if you hit the minimum spend in the introduction period, there is a $750 cash bonus. So that would be your introductory bonus. But the nice part is if you do have other Chase cards, so if you were to have, say, the Sapphire Reserve, you actually would be able to equate those 2 points. So that would actually equate to 75,000 points, which is great. So that's where you can start to strategically align your personal card stack with your business card stack, which is great. And again, that card is also a 0% interest, 0% APR for the first 12 months. And sometimes in that, as we're recording July 7th, 2025, that is what the welcome offer is. Sometimes they do have elevated welcome offers. And that's something that we share within our weekly newsletter, that we're always giving you the most up-to-date welcome offers. So make sure you check that out. But that's a great card to start. Then you also have the Amex Blue Business Plus. So that's also another 0% interest for the first 12 months. You're getting 2 times on everything, up to $50,000 per year in spend. This is a good card just if you want something super simple, with no annual fee. This is another one, and you're getting membership rewards points that can equate to transferring those over. Then we'll go into the Capital One Spark Cash Select. That's another same thing, 0% option, $0 annual fee. And the strategy around this is, I think if you're listening, you're looking at this and you're starting out, if you do want a no annual fee and a 0% APR card, these are great ones. This is great, even if you have low revenue, even if you have high revenue, but you're wanting to get started out and you want to get bonuses. This is a great way to start to build out business credit. And if you're someone who, this is just a side hustle. Hey, I wanted to take a quick break to say thank you so much for tuning into the show. The only way the show grows is through listeners like you helping us share it. So if you're enjoying the show, it'd mean the world to me if you hit that 5-star rating, shared it with a friend or family member who's ready to travel more, save money, or just needs a little bit more inspiration and that nudge. And if you're posting about it on Instagram, go ahead and tag Itinerary Boss, and we'll make sure to reshare it and shout you out for giving us a shout out. Thanks so much for the support. It truly means a lot. And now back with the show. Side hustle. This is a great way where you can start to separate your personal and business finances for when you do start to make that into a business. So these are just a couple options for just getting started out. And like I mentioned, this is one where, from a personal experience, got the Ink Unlimited, helped startup costs like our software, paying for if you're hiring any virtual assistants or hiring any developers, websites, podcast gear, any sort of travel to conferences, networking events where you're going to build your business, paying for meals, drinks, that type of stuff. You can use cards for that. And then you can actually earn cards. And just with one of these card bonuses, was able to secure a $5,600 business class flight seat. And then with another 50,000 that was split between me and a partner from one of the cards, this was actually one that, paid for 2 free nights in Bali, which equated to at Hyatt's at the Alila Seminyak, which is equated to right around $1,300 in cost saved. So those are just some early stage cards, but they're also great if you just want one and you don't want an annual fee. Next, we'll go into a lot of the times for people who are spending more or in that mid to later stage. These are great cards, and we're going to go through the Chase Ink Business Preferred, the Amex Business Gold, actually a new card, the Chase Sapphire Reserve Business Card, as well as the Amex Platinum. One thing to keep in mind, and I think this is one challenge that probably hear the most is I have the best business card. It's the Amex Platinum. A lot of the times that isn't the case. If you're traveling a lot, that's a great card, and we'll dive more into detail on it. But if you're spending on things like ads, cell phone, shipping, sometimes that's not the best card. So if you are spending on travel and a lot of shipping and ads, and you're spending under $150,000 on those, the Chase Ink Business Preferred is great because you get three times the points on all travel, all shipping, and ads, and it also has solid cell phone protection. This is actually one that I recently got, and it has a $95 annual fee. It does have transferable rewards, which is great. One that does not that you want to be on the lookout for is the Chase Ink Business Premier. You actually won't be able to transfer those points. So I always suggest if you've listened before, the anything with ultimate rewards that are transferable is going to be your best friend because that's where you can start to transfer those points over to airline partners as well as hotel partners and different things. So just one piece of advice there. That's a great card. I know a lot of people who use that, and especially if you're not spending more than $150,000, this is on ads. This is a great one. Then you have probably the most common, like I mentioned earlier, is people who are using the Amex. They think for the Platinum is the best one. That just because the slick marketing, it has a higher annual fee. That's what friends tell them to get. That's what people tell them to get. The Amex Business Gold is actually a really good option. You actually get four times the points on your top two category spends. So think of, if you're spending a lot of money on ads or software, right? You could be getting four times the points on that. If you're doing, shipping or dining out, right? And those are your top two, you get four times the points on your top two categories up to $150,000. People who are spending a lot really like this one. This actually has, as we're recording, a elevated welcome offer. And one thing that I didn't mention for the Chase Ink Business Preferred, that actually has a elevated welcome offer of 90,000 points when you spend $8,000 within the first 3 months. So two really good cards. Next, we'll get into. There's also the Capital One Venture X Business. That's a good travel card, but we don't think it's as good as the Amex Platinum and the Chase Sapphire Reserve Business. But we'll kind of get into why. There was a recent, and it's expired, but an elevated welcome offer where you could have earned up to it was you could have earned up to 350,000 uh, points if you spent up to a certain threshold. And since it was earning two times the points up to that threshold, you actually could have earned 750,000 points over the first 6 months with that Capital One offer. It no longer is available, but that is one, right, when you start to think about welcome offers, understanding, and that was if you were spending a lot of money, if you're a higher spender, but understanding when those come out. We share that in our newsletter, just being up to date, and we get those elevated welcome offers when they come out. So we always share those, but that's just something to keep in mind if you are strategizing. And then lastly, we'll go into the Amex Platinum and Chase Sapphire Reserve, and I'm kind of glad that they came out with this just from a timing perspective, because the Amex Platinum is obviously a great travel card, whether it's personal or business. You right now you can get up to 175,000 membership rewards points after spending $20,000 on purchases within the first 3 months. That's an elevated welcome offer. But just from a reward standpoint, and when you do have these travel cards, it's good to know what your benefits are because, yes, you're paying a higher annual fee, like $695 for this one, but you get a lot of benefits. And if you use those to your advantage, you can really get a lot of value from this card. So for this card, you get 5 times the points on all flights and prepaid hotels booked through Amex Travel. You get 1.5 times the points on eligible purchases in select business categories, on purchases of $5,000 or more, up to $2 million per calendar year. And just for as an example, I actually had a customer who he was spending all his money on getting supplies for real estate. And what he could do is he could get the Amex Business Gold, use it for getting 4 times the points on up to that $150,000. And then since he has the business platinum, he could actually then after that get 1.5 times the points on those supplies using this one. So that's a way that he could strategically do that. I actually have a written article that I'll share in the show notes that breaks this down. But just little strategies like that can really help. And it just shows sometimes the gold could be a good pairing with this, depending on what you're spending your money on. Then 1 times the points on all other purchases. So I think this is where a lot of people struggle because they will, use this for all dining, but they're only getting 1 times the points, right? And they think this is the best card. If they paired this with the gold, they would be able to have, right, two different cards that are earning them those. So that's just probably the biggest challenge I see from higher spenders. Some of the travel benefits are amazing, right? You get complimentary access to over 1,400 airport lounges. So you get the Centurion Lounge, Delta Sky Club. That does get you 10 visits per year. And it does, if you spend over $75,000 annually, you get unlimited access. You do get the Priority Pass Select lounges. You get different escape lounges, Plaza Premium lounges, and there are some select Lufthansa lounges that you'll get. You do get a 35% airline bonus. So you receive 35% of your membership rewards back when you pay with points for all or part of your flight with a selected qualifying airline. So that's nice. And then also, if you are traveling abroad with this card for business, there is no foreign transaction fees. Um, Also, there's a lot of other really cool benefits here. So you get hotel elite status. So Hilton automatically with having this, you get Hilton Honors Gold status, Marriott Bonvoy Gold Elite status. You do have to enroll here. You do get fine hotels and resorts programs. So you get room upgrades upon arrival when those are available, daily breakfast for two, guaranteed 4 p.m. checkout. And that's at over 1,000 properties worldwide. So you'd have to check out, those fine hotels and resorts, but that's another benefit. And from a car rental standpoint, you get access to elite status with Avis, Hertz, and National Rent-A-Car. And then just a couple other business and lifestyle credits. And I know this can be kind of seen as tedious, right? Couponing is a word that a lot of people like to use, but if you set automatic reminders and you just list these out, right, and hey, I need to do these, each year and take advantage, it starts to become like second nature. So one thing is you get a $200 airline fee credit. So statement credits per calendar year for incidental fees charged by the airline to your card. You also get a $150 Dell Technologies credit. So if you go out to Dell and buy, $150, you get a statement credit that they would just pay you back. You get a $200 Hilton credit. So which this is, I wish it was every calendar year. It is quarterly, so that's where you get $50 each quarter. So just make sure you mark, on your calendar when to do that if you are traveling. You also get a $120 wireless credit, so up to $10 per month at statement credits for wireless services. So you do have to enroll there, but that's a way to save on your phone bill, and then you get a $360 Indeed credit. Again, kind of like the Hilton credit, this is per quarter. But if you are doing some hiring, if you are doing recruiting, this could be a good one. Um, you do get, if you're using Adobe, you get $250 Adobe credit. So if you have a team who does a lot of your social media, or just does a lot of your content creation or design, this could be a way to offset some of that if you want to do Adobe Premiere Pro. And then you also get a $209 Clear Plus credit. So that's just towards that membership. And sometimes if you have other cards, some of these credits may overlap, but just wanted to break some of those down. The one of the best parts about this and the Sapphire Reserve, which we'll dive into next, is some of the travel and purchase protections. I think that's something that, when people look at annual fees, they think, oh, this is too much. What do I get with this? But when you do book with these cards, they do take care of you. That's probably the biggest thing. And if you are traveling a lot, and I'm sure if you listen to the show, that's really why you're listening to it, is to learn how you can travel more and use all these to your advantage. But different thing it covers are trip delay insurance up to 500 per trip of delays of more than 6 hours, trip cancellation and interruption insurance. So coverage up to $10,000 per trip and 20,000 per year. It has baggage insurance plans. So for lost, damage, or stolen baggage. And then also you get secondary coverage for damage or theft to different rental vehicles. It also has direct integration with QuickBooks, receipt matching, and the ability to issue employee cards. So that's a nice thing. If you do have employees or you run all your expenses through QuickBooks, that's a nice way to automate that. Um, and yeah, the annual fee is $695, but from what I just mentioned, that tallies up to a lot more. So if you are traveling frequently and you can leverage those extensive travel perks to offset the annual fee, this card's definitely worth it. But if you're spending all your money on dining, ads, all of that, there's definitely other business cards that we would strongly recommend. And, if you want to set up a time and dive into just building out a strategy, we do offer a free 30-minute introduction credit card consult. And then after, if it's something that you'd want to dive deeper into, build out that strategy, show the ROI of how much we can help you save. We do have some paid services as well. But yeah, feel free to, book your free introductory call within the show notes. And then lastly, since it is the latest and greatest thing that's hit the market, the Chase Sapphire Reserve business. This is, if you are spending a lot of money on ads and travel, this is definitely what you want to go with. And I'm sure that American Express is going to come back and have a card that's going to rival this because a lot of people are excited for this. So we're just going to run through some of the benefits, and at the end we'll share what we think is best. So earning points, you can get for the business reserve 8 times the points on purchases through Chase, 4 times the points on all flights and hotels booked directly. You get 3 times the points on social media and search engine ads. This is probably the biggest thing that sets it apart from the Amex Platinum as well as some of the other cards. So the Chase Business Inc. Preferred, actually, like I mentioned, you get that 3 times the points, but that's capped at 150K. Those, if you're spending most of your money on social media and ads, if you have the Amex Gold, you would get 4 times the points, but it'd only be up to 150K. So if that's where most of your dollars are spent on social media and SEO ads, and you like to travel, this is a great card because you get 3 times the points on those and it's uncapped. So you don't have to worry about, going and getting an Amex Gold and then a preferred and kind of juggling all those. You kind of get an all nice in one benefit if you are a higher spender. So that's great. You get 5 times the points on eligible Lyft rides. I have the Reserve Personal, and this is awesome. I mean, over the past couple years, it was 10 times the points on the Reserve. Now it's 5 times the points. But this is amazing because, we use Lyft over Uber, and you also get access to Priority Pass, or not Priority Pass, Lyft Priority. You do get access to Priority Pass, but Lyft Priority, where that's a game changer for if you're out at a busy event, concert, just any sort of big game, like you're going to get bumped up to the front, and they're also going to come, even if it's not one of those events, you're going to get that priority pickup. Travel credits, so when people say, oh my gosh, it's almost an $800 annual fee, this is where breaking down not only with the points we just mentioned, but some of the travel credits and perks. You get a $300 annual travel credit that just goes back to your statement credit, which makes it super simple. You get a $500 annual hotel credit, and that's valid at the Edit by Chase. And those are some pretty sweet places. And there's also points boost, which is great because you actually can you can redeem points at two times the value through the Chase travel portal. So if you are wanting to use some of those points for some of those edit hotels, you can actually do that. And then you can start to combine those, which is really great. You get global entry TSA pre-check, $120 credit every 4 years, similar to the Amex Platinum. Some of the travel insurance, travel protections are amazing for car rentals, and then lounge access, priority pass, Air Canada lounges. You get Chase Sapphire lounges, which are cool. There's a couple that I've gotten to go to the one in Phoenix, which is cool. And then I have a friend who got to recently go to one in New York and said it was amazing. There's also you also get IHG1 Rewards Platinum Elite status. And then just around annual credits, you do get another $300 in DoorDash promos and a Dash Pass membership. You do get $120 annual Lyft credits, so that's $10 a month, which is great. And then from a business specific standpoint, you get $400 in ZipRecruiter credits, a $200 workspace credit, $100 in giftcards.com credit. And if you do add on employee cards, that there is a $0 annual fee. And after you spend 120K, some bonus perks are IHG Diamond Elite status, Southwest A list, plus another $500 Chase travel credit, and then a $500 credit to the shops at Chase. So there is a substantial sign up bonus going on. Details do vary. I know when it first came out, it was 200K, which that's awesome. So if you are a higher spender and you do want to hit that and get points, this is a great card. So just to round it up, when you are getting started out, looking at some of those 0% interest, $0 annual fees are great just to start to get your business credit just good. And then if you start to spend more, looking at, where are you spending most of your dollars and what makes the most sense? It isn't just going after the shiniest card, it's having some of those specifics and where can you really use some of those travel credits, as well as the daily credits. But yeah, and with those points, you always want to make sure, you're using those for travel. So whether it's through the points boost, if that's simple, if you want to start to transfer points over to airlines, hotels, we have some other episodes that dive deeper into that, as well as we have a free points and miles cheat sheet that you can grab. But just a couple mistakes to avoid is, don't wait too long to open some of these. Um, just being able to, and also don't put personal expenses on it. It messes up bookkeeping. And just once you do earn some of those points, again, thinking about how you can transfer those, whether it's, Chase to Hyatt, which is one of our favorite ways to do it, to some of the other airline partners. And that's really what's going to set you up for success when you do start to travel. If you do have any questions, you feel free to reach out, leave us a comment, let us know what you think. And we'll look forward to talking to you next week. Thanks for tuning in.